Ruin my good name? I'll ruin your engagement. Boyfriend's brother was dating a lying, tacky, trashy, selfish gold digger. Was so my boyfriend's brother, Joe, was dating this girl, Amber, and nobody liked Amber. When I first started dating my boyfriend, Zeke, he asked if I'd like to hang out with Joe and Amber one night, go on a double date. I said sure. Well, on the way there, Zeke warned me that no one liked Amber. He said she was stuck up and rude. I'm not the type to base my opinions on what others say, so while I heard what he said, I told him I appreciated the heads up, but I'd make my own decisions about her. Well, she was awful, indeed. She'd give everyone dirty looks throughout dinner, she wouldn't talk to anyone but Joe, unless addressed directly, and then you'd get an eye roll and a 1 or 2 word answer. Also, she's a big girl. I have nothing against big girls, but she dressed like a cheap hooker in clothes far too revealing and too tight for her, with thick black eyeliner, cakey makeup, and ratty hair. Joe's a sweetheart. Decent looking, funny, generous, kind, gentle, friendly. Just all around a great guy. In every way possible, he has been like a brother to me, and I love him like family. Anytime Joe and Zeke would try to hang out, Amber would complain. On the rare occasion that Joe and Zeke got to hang out, it would usually be with their other brother, Todd. Todd's a nice guy, nice wife, cute son. We all get along great, except when Amber is there. So when the boys got to hang out, I'd usually stay home because they got so little time together, but sure enough, Amber would be calling and texting and witching the whole time about how Joe was always so busy. And it's not fair. And when is he coming home? It was ridiculous. At one point, about a year into dating Zeke, Joe called us and asked if we would give Amber one more shot. He invited us to dinner, asked us to really just try, because he loved her and he was at the end of his rope. If she couldn't get along with us, he was done. We all agreed to go. Amber made an effort, so did I, we became friendly, we had lunch and went shopping a few times. Joe seemed relieved. Amber had bought a kitten. Kitten grew into a cat. Then she decided she wanted a lab puppy instead. I asked what she was planning on doing with the cat. She said she was going to drop it off on the side of the road in the country. I begged her not to. I asked her to bring the cat to my apartment, where we are not allowed pets, and I'd find the cat a new home. Just don't drop it off on the road, as a coyote would probably find it and kill it. She laughed and said, I don't care, I hate that cat. I want my puppy. Again, I asked her to please give me the cat. No dice. The cat got dropped off on the side of the road and I never saw it again. So she got a lab puppy. A sweet, pretty little lab girl who loved to cuddle and give puppy breath kisses. About 6 months in, she decided she wanted a chihuahua. So she got rid of the black lab without notice. We still don't know what happened to the black lab. But who cares? She got her teacup chihuahua. Then he proposed. Amber said yes. And went back to crazy. Zeke was asked to be the best man. I was not asked to be in the wedding party, which was honestly fine with me. To be honest, I didn't trust the dress she would have put me in, and I didn't want to have to pay for all the extras. Well, she asked me to come to a dress fitting for her. I said sure, and asked when she could pick me up since Zeke had our car that day. She had to pass my house on her way to the dress shop anyway. I was sick, and it was pouring out, Portland, Oregon. Rain is not uncommon here, Amber replied. No, you can take the bus. I politely said I'd attend a different fitting. She then invited me a few weeks later. I said sure, and planned on going. Well, she canceled on me the morning of the fitting, saying she wanted to go with another friend at a different time, and if I couldn't get off work, I couldn't come. Well, I wasn't taking time off work, so again, I declined, but said if there was anything else I could help with, just let me know. And I volunteered my time, effort, and money to make their wedding favors by hand. I baked and was going to do a chocolate-dipped cookie for them, and decorate the cookies in their wedding colors, wrap them in pretty bags, and tie ribbon on them for over 100 guests. About a week after that, Zeke and I invited Joe and Amber over for dinner and game night, which is something we all try to get together for on a bi-weekly basis. They came over, and Zeke asked Amber how wedding planning was going. Amber had the nerve to look right at me and say, well, if someone would help me, it would be a lot easier. What? I later sent her a Facebook message that stated since I was not related to her, in the wedding party, or being paid by her, that she had no right to ask me for anything for her wedding. And that anything I volunteered to do was because I wanted to and was not obligated to do anything more. That was all I said. No angry words, no meanness, no name calling, just straightforward. Well, she had a field day and told Joe that I called her a witch and jerk. I saved screenshots of the messages, and the messages themselves on Facebook. I tried to tell Joe I didn't say anything mean to her or call her any names, but she had found a way to tamper with the messages and had written in terrible things that looked like they were from me. Zeke knew I never said anything mean to her. He saw the messages before I sent them. He watched me type them, because I wanted to know if he minded me sending them, and wanted to make sure I didn't come across as mean or unnecessarily harsh. Joe wasn't having it. He was, understandably, upset with me, thinking I had said these things. I then found out she had told other people the same lies about me, that I was verbally attacking her, calling her names, etc. None of that was happening, by the way. And anyone who knows me will tell you I am very friendly and smiley, and I'm nice to everyone. Now around this time, we found out that I am pregnant. Their wedding was scheduled for 6 days before my due date. For about 3 weeks, I stewed, not knowing what pregnancy hormones would do to me, not wanting to go to the wedding and say or do something awful if provoked. I asked Zeke if he minded terribly if I didn't go, knowing full well I'd be a hormonal, pregnant mess. He said it was fine. I then asked if I could write her a letter telling her what I really thought of her, bones and all. Zeke said, go for it, as long as it's all true, but leave Todd out of it. He hates her, but wants to talk to Joe in his own way in his own time. I said that was fine, Then reiterated that if I wrote the letter it would be brutally honest, no holds barred, I'm done, kind of thing. And that it could have some backlash from Joe to Zeke, since I'd be telling her exactly how I felt. Zeke said as long as it was true, go for it. So I did. I wrote her a letter telling her how selfish I thought she was, how trashy, tacky, rude, and shallow. What a gold digger she was, that she was a liar. That the way she treated her animals was deplorable. And to never contact me again and to remove my name from her guest list, as I would not be attending. I read it to Zeke, he said it was all true so send it. And I did. 20 minutes later, Zeke's phone is buzzing like crazy with texts from Joe, telling him to keep Grayson in line. She's saying things that aren't okay. Zeke replied that everything I said was true, he agreed to the message I sent. Zeke and Joe yelled for about a half hour. It wasn't fun. Well, word got out to Todd and his wife, Laura, that I'd sent the Facebook message. I showed them the messages. They'd all heard from Amber that I was saying horrible things, all of which I had proof that I'd never said. Then Todd, Joe, and Zeke's mom and dad heard about it. All of a sudden, everyone is admitting that they can't stand Amber. Dad said he wouldn't stop the wedding, but he wasn't paying another dime, and if it went on he wouldn't attend. Todd was neutral, but told Joe he did not like Amber at all, but that he loves Joe and he'll support him no matter what. A week later Joe left Amber. She cried, whined, accused, tried to get money from him, etc. And the whole time everyone knew I was the snowflake that caused the avalanche. At first I felt bad. But Joe is so much happier, it's like he's an entire different person. And so many people have thanked me for it, saying they didn't have the guts to say what I said. Even Joe thanked me like a week ago. Amber is still furious, but I don't care. She's single and being trashy, lost her apartment and had to move back in with her parents and lose her brother. Her job has gone to crap, but at least she's doing it far away from all of us.